So good morning and good evening to everyone. As part of yesterday's class, we have discussed about what is item category in SAP SD and how the item category behaves, or how the item category helps the item to behave in the sales order processing. That means if any item is available in the sales order, if any item, that means when you enter a material, it becomes an item, right? Umaira, when you enter a material in the sales order, it becomes an item, right?
Yes.
So if you remember, if you recollected yesterday's demonstration, you could see that each item is having corresponding item category, right? Each item in the sales order is having corresponding item category. So what that item category does, that item category tells the system, okay, it tells the system, because SAP system doesn't know anything. You need to give the instructions, you need to do the guidance, you need to do the configurations, you need to do the customizations, or you need to do the system enhancements to drive it, right? So to drive it, so whatever it is, you need to design, and tell the system to behave that way, or you need to design the system and tell, okay, this is what you want, this is how the system has to behave. Am I correct, right? That is what you do. Any system, not only SAP system, any system. So you can give the guidance, you can suggest it, you can design and tell it how to behave. Okay. In the similar way, with the help of the item category available for each item in the sales order, with the help of that item category, system can understand. Okay, I don't need to build this item. I don't need to bill for this item because the item category is configured, not relevant for the billing. Understood, Vivek? So,
yes, sir.
Based on the item category, because I think whatever the way you maintain the settings, control settings in the item category configuration, according to that, the sales order or according to the system will act. If you say it is 100% discount in the item category, what happens? In the sales order, system applies 100% discount to the item in the title for that item in the sales order, right? If you say that item is not relevant for billing in the item category, then when you try to create a billing, when you try to create a billing for that item using the sales order, what the system will say? System will say you cannot create a billing because this item in the document is not relevant for the billing. System will stop billing because the item category in the sales order already configured, already designed, saying that no billing is required. And also if you say returns are allowed, if you say the returns are allowed, when you try to create a return for that item, when you try to create a return sales order for that item, then it says that it allows you to create the returns. If you say the returns are not allowed, when you try to create a returns for that item, when you try to create a return sales order for that item, it says that returns are not allowed. So like this, whatever the behavior you want for a given item in the sales order, that is configured in the item category configuration. Clear?
Yes.
Vijay, right?
Yes, Venkat, it's correct.
Okay. So now we need to understand in the today's class how that is determining, because we are not entering it, right? We are not entering it. It is coming automatically. Or do you think every time it brings only one thing? Do you think in every sales order, whatever you create, do you think it always gives only one item category in the sales order for that item? Not like that. There are different item categories determined. There are different item categories determined based on different factors, based on different parameters. Okay, I am going to explain you what is the criteria, or on what basis, or on what basis the system will determine item category during the sales order processing. That is what we are going to discuss. Okay, let me log it to the system.
We cannot see your screen, Venkat.
Yes, I'm going to share. I did not share it. Okay, so I'm going to SPRO. So all the configurations, where do we do? SPRO, IMG, and since we are going to become the sales and distribution consultants, we need to open sales and distribution. Okay, under the sales and distribution, it is sales related, right? Sales order related thing. Go to the sales. So under the sales, related to the sales documents, and then it is related to the sales document item, sales document item. Okay, so this is item category. Okay, you see, assign item categories. Okay, assign item categories. If I click on it, okay, this is the item category. It's called default item category. Okay, you can see here, these are what? TAC, TAE, TAN, TANN. These are all the item categories. So TAX is a tax item category. Like even for the standard item, what is the item category?
TAN.
TAN. And what is the item category for the free of charge?
TANN.
TANN. Okay. And TATX is the text item category. Okay. So this is the default item category. What will determine during the sales order. So I'm not going to explain. I wanted to give like 1 or 2 minutes, okay, to tell me what is determining these item categories. What is determining? So by looking at what factors, what elements, what factors or what elements.
Is it a sales document type?
It's the item category.
What is that? Say, okay, one is, okay, you can see this by looking at, okay, Vivek or Vijay told me like, I didn't get it. Is it Vijay or Vivek? Vivek, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Vivek is saying that, one of the factor could be the document type. Whatever the document type you are using to create a sales order. Okay. That is that it seems that it seems that sales document could be one of the factor, or sales document could be one of the parameter which is influencing item category for the sales order. Okay. And is the only sales order?
No, it should be the item category group too.
Yes, it could be. The second one is system also looking at item category group. What is this item category? I will tell you. And what else? Even if you don't use here, but it looks the system is also using like something called usage. Something called usage. Okay, the system is also using the usage. and also system using what is the higher level item category. You will not understand now usage and higher level item category, but after 30 minutes I will make you understand these two things. Okay, let me explain like sales document type, what is the sales document type and the item category group, and then we will come to usage and higher level item category. Okay, so now what you understand, if anyone asks you, so when you go for an interview, people will ask you, so you see an item category in the sales order, so people will tell you, you see item category, or you know that item category is determined in the sales document or sales order. So they will ask you what parameters are influencing or what parameters are determining item category in the sales order. Then what you need to say? You need to say there are four parameters. There are four parameters which are influencing item category, which are determining the item category in a sales order. So those four parameters are, one is the sales document type. That is the document type which we use to create a sales order. Right? You know that, right? Every time when you create a sales order, okay, when you go to the sales order, you enter some document type, right? Am I correct? So this is what it is. So this is the one of the factor. This is the one of the parameter which is influencing. This is the one of the parameter which is influencing. This is the one of the parameter. Okay, which is influencing the item category. Okay, let me enter the. Okay, so to determine this item category, so to determine the item category in the sales order, one of the influencing factor is the document type. One of the influencing factor is the document type. What is our sales document? YAOR. Okay, let us open that. Okay, YAOR. Okay, one is the document type. Whatever the document type you entered, that is the one. And what is the second one? Item category group. So where it is available, item category group, where the system is picking it, where the system is getting it, how the system is getting it. So the item category group is available in the material master record. Whenever you define a material, whenever you create a material, whenever you maintain a material in SAP, you have a field to specify what is the item category group, what is the item category group for that material. Okay, so that is not having any control parameters. It is a just, it is a just item category group is a just one field, is a one of the field in the material master which is being used in the item category and some other scenarios. But it itself is not having any influence. But that item category group, when you use that field in any scenario, then it is having some influence. Okay, but it itself is not controlling anything. But it is being used. It is being used with the sales document type combination, with like a higher level item category combination and usage combination to determine the item category in SAP. Okay, let me go to the MM03. Okay, so if I select all the views and specify the plant and specify the storage location, distribution channel. If you can specify the storage location also, or doesn't matter. Okay. 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 So you see, what is it? So the item category group is available in the basic data one of the material master. Item category group is available in the basic data 1 of the material master. So that means every time you create a material master, you need to assign the item category group. You need to assign the item category group to the material master. So here, like if this is a make to order item, if it is a make to order item. So what is make to order and what is make to stock? Very high level. So I'm going to explain you very high level. Okay, if a material is designed to produce and make the stock available for the future orders, if an item is produced and put it as a stock for the upcoming orders or the future orders, that product is a make to order item, right? Make to stock item. That means you produce for the stock, you don't produce based on any order. There is generally what happens in some companies, they start producing in some companies, some industries, they start producing whenever they get any order. Unless and until they get an order, they don't produce. So that is called make to order. If the production is driven by your order, if the production is triggered by your order, your sales order, customer order, then it is a make to order. But if the order is not, if the sales customer order is not having any influence in your production process, then you say it is a make to stock. Like you just produce and make it as a stock, and so that whenever you create a new orders, automatically it is being used for those orders. Okay, this is very high level. So what SAP did? SAP has given different item category groups. Okay, for all type of scenarios. Okay, if it is make to order item, if it is a make to order material, SAP says that 0001. If it is just standard item, the normal process. Okay, then SAP says that NORM. See, NORM. Where is it? LMNO. Okay, the standard. If it is a non-stock material, so from the procurement side, there are some non-stock materials. Then it is NLAG. Okay, so like this, each and every scenario, each and every material category or each and every material type, it is basically determine the material type. Okay, material type. That means, so if you go to any material, if you go to like here, information about the material. Okay, you can see here. Okay, what is the material type? Whether it is a finished product. Material type means whether it is a finished product, whether it is a semi-finished product, whether it is a part, any part which is being to produce a product, or whether it is a you can say service material, whether it is a text material. Okay, just for text purpose, like this. Okay, the material type, when you try to create a material, we use material type. That is the one parameter. And also we select the industry sector. So what industry sector this material belongs to, whether it is a mechanical sector, like FMCG sector, or you can say like pharma sector, medical pharma, or like military, whatever it is. Each and every material has its own industry sector. Okay, like this. So this material type influences what item category group it comes. So now coming back to SD side, coming back to like our item category side. Okay, so the item category group of the material master. Okay, the first parameter which is influencing the item category determination in the sales order is sales document type. That means I will put this way. So while determining this item category in a sales order, system looks for what is the item category determination defined? What is the item category defined here? So here it looks for, okay. So what is the first thing? First system look at what is the sales document type. So what is the sales document type? This order sales document type YA or the document, the sales orders document type is YA or. So then it goes and look for where is YA or. So this is YA or, and then looks for what is the item category group of the material. So if you go to the order item, that material, it goes to this material, it goes to this material and look at, it goes to this material and look at what is the item category group. What is the item category group? Item category group is the norm, NORM. So now it goes to the, where is the NORM? Okay, let me go down. Okay. So YA or YA or YA or, and it goes to the NORM. Okay. Here, so no usage. So that means, so here generally I will tell you usage in few minutes. Okay. I don't want to confuse you now. So it looks for okay. First, what is the item sales document type, and then it looks for what is the item category group, and then it looks for usage and higher level item category. Okay. But for the given for this order, we do not have any higher level item category, and also we do not have any usage. I will tell you what is usage and what is higher level item category. So basically, higher level item category means, for example, you know, bill of material, or for example, if you want to make a bicycle, okay, is bicycle is just one product or is assembly of multiple products? Is bicycle, or when you say computer, is computer just one product? Is combination of, is assembly of multiple products or multiple parts? So take the computer. So when the computer computer start working, you need the keyboard, you need the CPU, you need the monitor. So there are multiple things. So whenever all these things put together, then only you say it is a product. It is a product, but still it has its own components. It has its own component. So then what happens when you deal with computer? Let us say when you enter the computer here, then the system proposes. So when you if you are creating a sales order, for the computer, then the system determines the components also. The system determines the bill of material components, like the components of the computer. What are the components of the computer? It says monitor, it says CPU, and also it says the keyboard and the mouse. It determines all the four things. So that in that case, what happens? The computer becomes higher level item, right? The computer becomes higher level item, whereas the CPU, keyboard, mouse, monitor, these become components like lower level items. So lower level items. So that means whenever the system is trying to determine the item category for the lower level item, whenever the system is trying to, for a higher level item, that's okay. It doesn't need anyone. For example, if you go here for the normal item, okay, for the normal item, we don't need any like to determine the item category for the normal items. To determine the item category for the standard items, system does not to look at what is the higher level item. There is no other item, right? Am I correct? For the standard items. But whereas, for example, so let us say, it determined, you know, like some components, some sub components. It determined sub components or some components. So now, whenever the system has to determine item category for this component, whenever the system has to determine the item category for this component, you know what it looks? It has to look at sales document type and item category, and also what is the higher level item category. In this case, what is the higher level item category? item is the higher level item category. Understood? Vijay, Vivek. For the normal items, it only looks at what is the sales document type and what is the item category group in the material master. But for the configurable items like bill of materials, configurable items are assembled items, then whenever the system has to determine the item category for the components or the part items, it also take into consideration of the higher level item category. So that means you configure saying that sales document type, item category group, and also you tell if my higher level item category is item, if my higher level item category is item. You see here, for example, okay, if you can see here, this is the best example. Okay? This is the best example. Okay, so now here what you can see, if the sales document type is YAOR, the item category group is LUMF. What is the default item category? What is the item category in the sales order? DAP. Okay. If in case in that order there is a component which is having, for which we need to determine the item category, that is sales document type is YAOR, the item category group is LUMF, and then the higher level item category. So what is the higher level item category for that item? TAP. Then we are telling determine TAN as a item category. So it's all our requirement. It's all what we decide. Okay, based on the business requirement, we define. Okay, we take into consideration of higher level item category for the configurable items. That means assembled items. When you are dealing with the assembled items or configurable items, you also need to take into consideration of higher level item category to define the item categories. Understood?
Yes, Venkat.
That means generally, whenever an item is configured with some assemblies, okay, like let us say bicycle. Bicycle is the combination of wheels. Okay, other than the bicycle, this is the best example. Like the computer is the best example. You cannot say computer without mouse, without CPU, without keyboard, okay, without monitor. So when you have all four things in place, when you assemble all four things, then only there is a computer. But in order, what you say, in order you don't say that you don't define all four. You don't define all four. What you say, you simply say computer. You simply say computer and hit enter. When you hit enter, the system will determine all the four components. How you maintain a bill of material in the background. In the background, you tell the system computer is manufactured, computer is assembled with the four components. So since you already maintain there, whenever you enter the computer here, system determines CPU here as a subcomponent, okay, and then mouse and then something. Now for this item for computer, this item categories only take into consideration of like what is the document type, what is the item category group. But to determine the item category for the components, the system has to take into consideration of the higher level item category. What is the higher level item category? That computer item category. The computer item category also become one of the parameter. The computer item category, that is the main item category, also become one of the parameter to determine the item category for the components or the assemblies. You understood?
But Venkat, how does the system know that 1, 2, 3, 4 is a subcomponent?
No, we maintain. Actually, there is a transaction code, but it's too early. But I will just show you.
Okay, no problem. That's fine.
We specify here. There is a transaction code CS01. Create material BOM. Okay. You tell here. For example, if I go to CS03, which is already maintained, display. I don't think we have BOM for this one, but there are some other materials. This is also one of our topic which we will discuss future. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I think. Okay, we need to find. I need to go to the table, but we'll maintain here. Okay. The material bomb is maintained here. Okay. Here you specify
Okay.
all the components and all. But let us not deviate. Okay. That's my goal. 1 minute. Huh? Okay. Sorry. And then like the other one is usage. So basically, usage tells like what kind of under what kind of scenario, under what context, you are using this item category. For example, there is something called batch determination. There is something called batch determination. That means that if you look at any food product, or if you look at any pharma product, pharma medical medicine, like any tablet or any capsules, you see the batch number. You know that, right? You see the batch number. So what is this batch number? So what is the use of that batch number? So in the pharma industries, and food industries, the production happens. The production happens based on the batches, based on the batch 1, batch 2, batch 3, batch 100, batch 1000, batch 2000, like that they produce it. You know what happens? Especially if any product, let us say there is a capsule or like injection which has some reaction to the patients. If they found any issues with any specific capsule or any injection, you know what happens? They immediately contact to the people, all the people who are to whom they sell that batch items. If that batch, whatever is produced under the batch 1, if one product is identified as a fault product, and they immediately contacted to all the customers who bought under the same batch product, because that batch, a particular batch is being used certain raw materials, certain kind of elements, same elements, so that whatever the wrong happens to that one material of that batch can also possible to happen other materials of the batch. So that is like the importance of the batches in the pharma industries or the food industries. So now the coming to this. So in if the products are produced, if the products are produced in the batches, if the materials are produced in the batches, in that context, so there is, you need to specify the usage. Okay, there is a usage called CHSP for batch production, for the batch determination, for the materials which are being used. It is not that every product is produced using the batches, right? For example, if you are producing a car, do you produce in the car batches? No, it is an individual car. You produce it individually. Okay, but whereas the food industries or pharma industries, okay, what happens? You produce in the batches. So if you are producing the material in the batches using the batch determination or in the batches, then you use this usage saying that CHSP, that is a usage in the batches, batch usage. So that like that, okay, like that, you need to specify what is the usage. For example, if it is 100%, if it is 100% free, like if it is a free goods, if it is a free good, you can say this material, that particular material is used as a free good, then you need to use the usage as free. If it is a free of charge item, you use the usage as a free. If it is a batch item, you use the usage as CHSP. If it is a text item, you use the usage as a TEXT. So like this, TEXT, like this comes to the picture under particular scenario. This only comes to the picture under particular scenario. It's not every time used. Only free of charge time, only for the free goods, only for the batch goods, only for the text items we use this usage. Okay, that is how it comes. So if you look at here, for example, let us see like one by one wherever it is available, you can see. You see here, for the, what is this item category? TATX is the text item, right? TATX is the text item. Okay, for the text items, what we are also taking consideration, we are considering the document type, item category, and also we are considering usage, right? You are telling the system, okay, if the usage is text, then you are telling the system, okay, the item category is TATX. So like this, based on certain situations, okay, whether it is a text usage, whether it is a free goods, you see here for the TANN, what is this TANN? TANN is what? Free of charge item. Okay, for the free of charge item, what we are taking into consideration? We are taking document type, item category, and the usage as the free. Okay, this is how we use the usage. Okay, I know that it is a little tough to understand the usage, but you just simply remember, you just forget about the batches at this moment, but you remember for the text items, you use the usage as a TEXT, and for the free of charge items, we use the like FREE as a usage. Okay, this is how it helpful to determine the item category. Okay, so these are the 4 parameters. That means whenever you create a sales order, to determine the item category for a sales order, what the system will do? System will go to the item category configuration. Okay, system will go to the item category configuration, and then the system look for, okay, according to this, the system look for what is the document type. And then the system look for what is the item category group in the material master. And then if it is a configurable material like assemblable material, it looks for what is the higher level item category. If it is a like free of charge item, text item, it also looks for the batch item. It also looks for the what is the usage. But in general, you come across 99% of the cases, you come across, okay, like item document type and the item category group of the material. Only these two parameters will take into consideration, will be used. Only these two things are being used, okay, to determine the item category. But in the bill of material case, that is like, the component material which is assembled with the components, okay, that case the system also take into consideration of the higher level item category to determine the item category for what? Item category to determine the item category for the main item, or to determine the item category for the components, in which for which level the system needs the higher level item category. To determine the item category for the only components, to determine the item category for the components only, the system look for what is the higher level item category. That means the main item category. Okay. For the normal item, it always take into consideration normal way. What is the document type and what is the item category group. If it is the component, if it is the lower level item, then it looks for what is the lower level item category, and then what is the higher level item, like this. What if it is component? If it is component, it looks for the document type and then the component item category group of the material master. The component is also having its own material, right? I mean, when you say computer is made with CPU, monitor and keyboard, then you need to create material master for component also, right? You need to create separate material for material master. You need to create separate material for the monitor. You need to create separate material master record. In going to the MM01, you need to create material master for the components. While creating the material master for components, what you enter? You enter the item category group, right? So that also will take into consideration. For main item, let me put here. Computer, it is a main item. Okay, main item. So main item has, okay, when the system determining the item category for the main item, it looks for what is the sales document type, okay, in the sales order, okay, and then it looks for the main item category group. Main item material master item category group, right? Item category group, and then it determine the item category. It determine the item category by taking into consideration of sales document type, okay, sales document type and item category group of the material master, okay. It determine the item category, saying that TAN or whatever it is. Let us say TAP, okay, and then components, CPU, okay, keyboard, okay, and then monitor. Now the system has to determine item category for these components also, right? Vivek, the system has to determine the item category for the components also. Am I correct?
Right.
So while determining the item category for the components, what the system will do? The system will look for what is the, okay, what is the document type. This is component, right? This is component, just for your reference. This is component. This is also component. That means we can say lower level item component, or low, I will say like LLM, okay, lower level item, LLI, okay, lower level item. Okay, so when to determine the lower level item, again the system looks for what is the sales document type is default. Sales document type always has to consider whether it is the main item or lower level item, and then what is the item category of this item master. So this is also having, even it is component, it has to have the material master, right, in the system. Okay, then it will look for like a lower level. That means the CPU material master item category group. You understood? Item category group, okay, because it has to do its own item category group. So it has to look at the document type and it has to look at its own material master item category group, and then so here we have that higher level item category, higher level item category. So what is the higher level item category? TAP is the higher level item category, and then it says okay TAE or whatever it is item category. Like this, even for these item components also system. So that is what higher level item category. When the system determining the item category for the lower level items or the components, okay, it has to take into consideration the document type and the item category group of this material, and also the higher level item category also take into consideration, and then determine the item category for the components. Understood? Okay. What is this higher level item category in the item category determination? Umaira.
Yes, Venkat. Higher level category is nothing but it's the main items item category.
Correct. That's simple. Main items, because in the bill of materials we have main item and components. When the system determining the item category for the components, the system has to take into consideration of what is the higher level item category. Okay. And then once it understands the item category, then what happens? The system start behaving, the system start acting accordingly. So why the system is looking for item category? Why the system is looking for item category? Because item category is having its control parameters. So why the system has to know what is the item category for a material, whether it is a component or whether the main item, whatever the material it is, whatever the item it is, why it has to know the item category for a material for a transaction? Why the item category has to be identified by the system while doing the sales, while creating the sales order? Because according to that, system will act, right? If the item category which is determined here, billing relevance, the system allows for the billing. If the item category which is determined in the sales order relevant for the pricing, then system determine the pricing. If the item category which is determined in the sales order free of charge, then system applies 100% discount. So that is the reason the system has to look. The system has to know what is the item category for my material in the sales order. Okay. Hello.
Yes, Venkat. Okay.
Okay. Now going back. Okay, this is the item category. And okay, this is item category. And if you want any new item category groups, okay, you can configure. SAP has given standard item category groups like 001, 002, like this, SAP norm. So DINE is the for the service item, for the service materials, okay. For the service materials, SAP has given DIEN is a item category group. Okay, if you are dealing with the service materials, okay. Okay. For the configurable material, what is configurable material? That is structured material, okay, which is a combination of components. Then item category group is ERLA, okay. See, this is what for the configurable materials for the below items, okay. That means when you create it is like this. When you create a component, you see. So when you create a material master record for the component, when you create a material master record for the component, okay, what item category group you have to give? LULM, because it's a lower level item. It's the below item. You understood? If you are creating a structured material, that is bill of material. If you are creating a material master, for the component of a bill of material, for the lower level item of a main item, then what item category group system is suggesting? LUMF, that is structure material below. Whereas ERLA means structure material above means the main item. So for the main item, when it is a bill of material, when it is a configurable material, when it is a structured material, when it is a configurable material with some subcomponents like computer and computer components. So when you create a computer as a material, what material item category group you need to maintain in the material master? ERLA. When you are creating a material master for the main item, use the item category group as a ERLA. Whereas when you are creating the material master, for the component of that bill of material or configurability material, we use the lump form. Okay, that is below. And for the non-stock materials, when you are creating the material master for the non-stock material, what is the item category group? NLAZ. When you are creating the material master for standard items, the regular items, normal items, NORM. Okay, like this, there are some other things are there. You can check in the system. Okay, this is if you want to copy and use your own item category groups. If you want to copy and create your own item category group, generally people will not touch this. We create our own item categories, but we don't create item category groups. But I don't know why people created. But in general, in the business, we always use the standard like norm. Item category groups, people don't touch it. Just use as it is. Okay. If you want, you can use it. Okay. And you define here item categories here, and you assign the item categories here, like the combination, the document type combination. You do the guidance. What is the criteria to determine the item category? What is the criteria to determine the item category in the sales order? So the combination of sales document type, item category group, usage, and the high-level item category. Okay. So this is for item category and item category determination or item category assignment. Okay. In the tomorrow, like in the next week class, we discuss about schedule lines. Okay. This is also, there is something called schedule line category. If you go to the sales order, okay, you see schedule lines. Under the schedule lines, what is it? What is this? This is called schedule line category. Like item category. It is called schedule line category. It is also having its own importance. It also has its own settings. Okay. It also has its own configuration settings and control settings. Okay. Based on this, it influences many things. Okay. That we will discuss in next time. Vivek, it looks you were asking some question, please.
Oh, I'm not, Venkat. I think someone else is asking.
Vivek.
Venkat, no, I'm not. I did not ask any questions. Someone else is asking, I guess.
Okay.
Can you send these videos?
7:30 Saturday. Okay.
Yeah, Venkat, can you send these videos, Venkat?
Venkat, can you hear me?
So Vijay, are you talking anything? Vivek, I'm not able to hear you.
No, yeah, Vijay is asking about the document and the videos of the previous recorded session. Is it right, Vijay?
Oh, okay. I will check it. I thought I already shared it, but let me check it.
Yes, yeah.
And Venkat, if you can share the, system access.
Okay.
Details.
Okay, everybody ready, right? Even Vijay, Vivek, you're also ready for the system, right? Because I wanted to get
Yes,
it for
sir.
everyone
Yes.
at one time.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I think Vijay, I
Right.
already gave it to you, right?
Yeah, you gave me, yes, some time back, yes.
Okay, please try it. If you have any issues, let me know, okay? And Samira also,
Okay, I'll do that.
I get it, but she told me like, she needed it later, but I did not remember whether I cancelled it or not. I will check it.
Okay, thank you,
Okay.
Venkat.
No problem.
Thank you, Venkat.
Okay.